And we started. Dear friends, how are you? And welcome to Bibleli. Today we are going to read uh, Ezekiel 28 and a little bit from 29. Hope that all of you had a good week. It's really warm in Israel now. And with the help of God, next week we're going to and we can start just for a moment. So let's start with Della. Della, can you hear us?
Did you say my name?
Yeah. How
okay.
Are you?
Okay, thank you. Ki male'ah ha'aretz de'ah et Adonai kamasim la yam mekosin.
Amen, amen, your friend Od. And let's start. This passage starts from 28 and 27. Also, there is a prophecy for Tyrus or Tzor in Hebrew. Really interesting empire or interesting city, I would say, not empire in those days. The years probably are about a king whose name is Et Baal. And let's see what Ezekiel is telling us about him. בבקשה.
Okay. Vayehi davar Adonai Elai lemor ben Adam emor lin gid ol ko amar Adonai Elohim Ya'an Gava Lib Ka Batomer El Ani Moshav Elohim Yashavti Belev Yamim Be'ata Adam Velo El Batitem Libeka Kalev Elohim.
Excellent. And the key word is lev, heart, and a heart which is lifted up. This is the prince of Tyrus. So in Hebrew, a city that is found until today in Lebanon, with the other city which appears in this chapter, Sidon. And God is speaking about a prince that thinks that he's God, thinks that he's in the middle of the world. And God says, no, you're a person, you're not God, you're a man. And don't take yourself and put yourself as the heart of God, because you're not. This is what we're calling hybris, or in the Greek mythology, when you think that everything is good with you, and you think that God made you as God, but no, you're just a person. This takes us to the Garden of Eden story, when there is a point when Adam and Eve got the knowledge and could get the eternity, and actually makes themselves like God, with the knowledge of good and evil, and to live forever if they would eat from the tree of life. And God, of course, is not giving them this option when they were driven out. So this situation here takes us back to the Garden of Eden story, to a point that could have been existed. And as there, also here, God is saying, no. There is only one God. And the king of Tyrus cannot make these steps and make himself as God. Now let us see what happens now when we continue to read. And say hello to Clancy. How are you, Clancy? How do you feel? Clancy, can you hear us? Just one moment.
Yeah, I was muted and I couldn't get to the box to unmute it because something was on top of it, but I'm there. Okay, thank you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you very much. You had a good week.
Yes, just busy. Always something.
Okay, so let's see the verses, bevakasha.
Okay, thank you. Hine kokam atan midabi ye el. Okay. Kol satun lo aman nu Bade Okma Teka Uvte Kunat Tan. I'm sorry. I have read this, but it's like it looks totally new. Uvet Vuna Teka Asita Leka Kayel Beta As Zahav Bekesef Beots Teka Berov Hakmotam Hakmoteka. I'm sorry. Berku Lot Teka. Here be ta. Kile ka. Beig bar. Le vav ka. Bite leka.
Excellent. And we can see here two important things that everything speaks about this king, this prince, in second person, that he's really wise. He's really even wiser than El or Daniel. Daniel is what we're calling the Kri, what we need to read, and what is written is Daniel, which is the god of justice in the Canaanic mythology. And with his wisdom, he used and created the property, and his heart, one more time, is lifted. You can see gold and silver. We can see that is rich, and so two elements of money and wisdom is or property and wisdom that is connected together appears here, and the outcome is, one more time, that their heart is lifted up. When you compare someone to, and this is a comparison that you are actually better and better than a character which is God. Of course, Daniel could be also Daniel from the Bible, but probably the option is Daniel. So that means that you're not modest, you're proud of yourself, but too much. And this is the problem of this king. Now, it's really important to mention that this king has actually a key in order to say these things, but of course not to think about this, because 13 years that the Babylonians tried to attack Cyrus, and in those days, and with no success, caused this king to feel maybe I'm in God. But as we know, there is only one God, and he's putting the border here. He's going to put the limit for this king. And let us see how it's continued. So, thank you very much, Clancy, for your reading. And let's speak with Victor. How are you, dear friend?
Hi, Ali. I'm
Hi.
fine. How are you? How are you?
Thank you very much. You're okay?
Okay, here we go. Laken ko amar Adonai Elohim, ya'an hitka et lavavka kalev Elohim. Laken hineni mevi eleka zarim aritze goyim va harku har votam el yapi hak mataka va hiru ataka la shachat lo ridutka va mata ma mote halal balev yamin.
There is a description that takes this heart, who thinks that he's the heart of God, and make it down to the pit, into the midst of seas. But the heart list actually, and if this king thinks that he's in the center of the world, God makes him, drown to the pit, which is really interesting because we can feel two interesting elements that we've seen in the story of creation. First of all, the sea monsters that we are going to see with Egypt in the next chapter, in the beginning of next chapter, and also the idea of the Garden of Eden, which is surrounded, of course, with water. And what we can see that this king is actually going down by enemies, by nations, and they are going actually to destroy his wisdom and his beauty. This is actually one of the reasons that this chapter is given to us. So we are going to see what happens when you lift up your heart too much. And this is a really good example of what not to do. So let us see more. Jackie also spoke about Noah, Daniel, and Job, of course, that in Ezekiel 14. And you see also there the elements of to compare yourself to others that are righteous or important. And this king, of course, is not in the same line with them, but he tries to be even better than them. But of course, he cannot. So let us see what God is telling him. And let's go to Jackie that will explain to us this verse. Bevakasha.
Shalom, Eli.
Shalom. How are you, dear friend?
You have an interesting background.
Yeah, it's really nice. 929, I really like it.
Yes. Ha'amor tomar Elohim ani lifnei horgicha ve'ata adam ve'lo el beyad mechalelecha motai arelim tamut beyad zarim ki ani dibarti neum Adonai Elohim.
Excellent. And with a rhetorical question and infinitive, absolutely. Amoto ma Elohim. Do you think that you are God? Can you say that you are God before I'm going to actually kill you? Because you are a man, you're not God. And it's not just that you're going to be destroyed, you're going to have a death of uncircumcised, which reminds us also the Philistines that were nicknamed uncircumcised with the lament of David, for example. And in general, when you want to curse others in the Bible time, you would say uncircumcised. This is a keyword to show you an enemy, other nations that is not you. And this is what the king of Tyrus is actually suffering here because of this sin of, lifted up his heart. And let us see more beautiful words. Another lament here that will take us to the Garden of Eden story. Really, really interesting what we're going to see here. And let's say hello to dear Dag. How are you, Dag? How do you feel?
Unmuted. That's how I feel. Shalom. How's everyone else? I'm doing pretty well. A little sniffle here and there, but I tested negative for COVID-19. So far, we'll see. Vayehi devar Adonai Eli lemor. Ben Adam sa hina al melech tzor ve'amar ta lo ko amar Adonai Elohim ata chotem tachnit maleh chachma uchlil yofi.
Beautiful. And this king of Tyre thinks that he's so beautiful and he's perfect. But actually, this is the end of his life. This is the summary. Chotem tochnit, lachtom, like a signature, like you end something. And God, with the word lament, we know that this is not going to be good words with him. On the other hand, the element of beauty that is repeated in the Garden of Eden story is also really strong here. So let us see what are the elements that we can see here that is new to us with the Garden of Eden, something that we saw a little bit in Genesis 2, but now we can see even more. So this, you need to read the next verses. For this, let's say hello to Rod. How are you, Rod? How do you feel?
I'm not too bad. It's a bit cooler now.
I'm really happy.
The cat's sunbathing and all is well. Now, this is the interesting part, because this is where some Christian scholars believe that this now refers to more than the king of Tyre, but to another character in the scriptures where the Jewish thought is quite different to that of the Christians. But anyway, we'll see how we go.
Okay.
Be'eden gan Elohim hayita kol av even yakara mesuchatecha odem pitda weyaha. Is that Lom? It's just off the edge of the screen there.
Yalom. Diamond.
Ta shish shohat ham where yash fe sagir negev uv rakat where zaha male chet tu picha un kavecha bach bayad ha baraacha konanu et kruv mim shach hasochen chech unta techa beha kodesh Elohim hayit ta בתוך אבני אש הצלחתה.
Beautiful, יפה מאוד, and all the stones here, the precious stones, and the place, of course, we're speaking about the Eden in the Garden of God. We can see the cherub, like the cherubim from that appears at the end of the Garden of Eden story. And in the Christian tradition, can you explain a little bit? It probably relates to Satan.
So the expression, you are the anointed cherub that covers,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean to Judaism?
More the idea that the king of Tyrus tried to be as one, but not something which is specific, as I believe that you will explain. I would really happy that you will explain the Christian side.
Because the Christian viewpoint is that that refers to Satan.
Mm-hmm. This is actually not so all this prophecy this relates to the king of Tyrus actually relates to Satan. This is the idea.
As Jackie has just pointed out, he's also called Lucifer.
Lucifer, yeah.
This refers to when he was in the Garden of Eden, in a sense, the covering cherub, before, as we will see in the next few verses, before iniquity was found in him.
Okay. So, so you can understand it as a character that is reflected here as Lucifer, as you said, or that this relates to this king as someone that thinks that he's in the Garden of Eden when there is this precious stones here, and this is something that we learn more a little bit about the Garden of Eden. We've learned a little bit about those stones in chapter 2 in Genesis, but here we can see more descriptions and more details and numbers. Okay, and I think that the element of the cherub and the holy mountain and the stones of fire takes us to another option, as you mentioned, as Lucifer. Very something which is new to me, so I'm really happy to hear. And let's see more. If you have, of course, more to add, your friends, would be really nice. Let's see. Okay, so coming back for, and where is Sharon? I saw her. Did she can hear us? Sharon, can you hear us, dear friend? Hi, Sharon. Lost connection. So I hope that she will be able to join us back. And coming back to Della. Della, בבקשה.
Shalom, yes, I can see it. Okay, thank you. Tamim ata bidra keka miom hibar ak ad nimsa of lata bak birov rekulat ka malu tok ka amas vataheta va kal le. Okay, sorry. Va kal le ka ma'ar Elohi va'abed ka keruv asokek mitok avani ne esh gava lib ka beyav yeka shekata hak amat ka al if ateka al eretz ish laktika lifnei melakem netatika. Okay, I see none of the vowel pointings on these, so I don't know if I can.
לראווה בך. לראווה בך.
Okay, Barb, thank you.
And he thinks that he's perfect, but he's a sinner. You can see the violence, Hamas. We can see the sinners. Hamas, by the way, the word that appears before the story of the flood. One more time, the idea that his art is lifted up and his beauty, and instead, this is something that corrupted him, and God is going to cast him to the ground. He thinks he's a kind of an angel. He thinks like he's a cherub. He thinks he's kind of God. And God is taking him from up to down, and he's going to be humiliated. But there is a distinction between what the king of Tyrus, or Lucifer, which is another option, thinks, then what actually happens. By the way, if we can see Ishlachticha, this reminds us also Hillel ben Shachar, that is cast, I think, in the book of Isaiah, if I recall, which is also the passage that relates to Lucifer, if I recall. Remind me if I'm wrong, but remember also another passage. So what we can see here is the difference between what the king of Tyre thinks to what God is saying to him that he is. It's reflected all over this passage. And let us see more before we move to another prophecy that relates to Sidon. And Victor, can you read it to us, Baksha?
Okay, thank you. I love reading. It's fun. Merov avoneka ba'aver ra kalataka. Hi lalta mikdasheka ba'oze esh. Ni tokka hi akaltaka ba'etenatka la aper al haaretz le'enei. Kal ro'eka kal Yode'eka ba'amim shamamu eleka ba'lahot ha'ita ba'eneka ad olam.
And we can see in the book of Deuteronomy that God is saying, Ani esh ochla, I am the fire that will destroy you, will consume you. This is what happens to this king, and he's going to be like an ash on the ground, and everyone will see ashes. Everyone will see it. And he's going to be desolated, and eventually he won't be existed anymore because of his sins. So this is a destroy. God destroy actually this king. Yes, Victor.
So has this already happened yet in the past, or is this supposed to be for the future?
It happened in the past, but it would be. As we said before, this king Etbal that we know, he actually had a lot of power that the Babylonians couldn't win him. And if you think about the Babylonians as the instrument of God, and 13 years that the Babylonians tried to defeat him, they couldn't succeed. This is the reason why he thinks that he's, like God. Eventually, of course, he stopped of being king and went to another world. And this is what actually would happen pretty soon, as the words of Ezekiel.
Okay.
And yes, Rod?
Of course, in the actual history of it, the inland city was attacked and they escaped to the island city. And that worked for a while till the Greeks came along and tipped the rubble of the inland city into the sea and made a breakwater, and then attacked and captured the island city.
So this is actually something that, of course, would happen, as you mentioned. So and Sidon are, as you said, near to sea. Until today, cities in Lebanon, beautiful, by the way. From what I see, Lebanon was before the wars that we know that happened there. Also with Israel, considered to be the Paris of the Middle East. And what we can see here is destroyed because this king lifted up his nose or his heart and thought that he's a god. And God is saying, no, no, no. If you think you're a god, no, you're going to be destroyed. And this prophecy ends with this word, and a new one starts with these words. ויהי דבר אדוני אלי לאמור, בן אדם שים פניך אל צידון וינבא עליה, ואמרת כה אמר אדוני אלוהים, הנני עלייך צידון ונכבדתי בתוכך, וידעו כי אני אדוני ועשותי בה שפטים ונקדשתי בה. Unlike Tyrus, it's pretty clear what he has done. Here we need to, dig a little bit in order to understand what we can understand that God is going to punish Sidon. We don't know exactly why. So from these verses, we know that there is punishment. Usually there is an accusation and then punishment. But Sidon was pretty close to Tyrus, and this is something which you need to remember. Another thing that we are getting from the next verses is a little bit hint of what they have done. Maybe they helped, maybe they put like thorns against Israel. So let's see from the next verses. Let's ask dear Jackie to read to us. בבקשה.
Okay. By the way, Ellie, happy Independence Day on the Gregorian calendar.
Thank you for that.
May the 14th.
Yeah, נכון. Thank you.
ושילחתי דבר ודם בחוצותיה ונפלל חלל בתוכה בחרב אליה מסביב וידעו כי אני אדוני ולא יהיה עוד לבית ישראל סילון ממאיר וקוץ מכאיב מכל סביבותם השתים אותם וידעו כי אני אדוני אלוהים.
So the quotes is maybe a sign for, that they try to harm the people of Israel. And that's it. This is what we know. We can see two plagues here from the 10, pestilence, dever, and dam. Dam is the first one. The dever is the, that's for that killing of dever, the fifth one. And of course, the idea that everyone will know that I'm the Lord, which is really important. This is usually after a punishment or after a law, this is an expression that is repeated. And it's really interesting to see. Nachon is from the Agadah. And what we can see is that the people of Sidon is maybe created a reality which is not convenient to the people of Israel, but we don't know a lot of information. Since this passage is in passage that we have a prophet for the nations, the Ammonites, the Moabites, Edomites, Philistines, the king of Tyrus, also in the last chapter, and in 27, and Egypt, as we're about to see. So everyone is in this party, and God is giving us every nation that harmed him or the people of Israel. So this is really important to remember. Let's see how this chapter ends, and a little bit to Egypt to see. Sharon, can you read that, Bakasha?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we've lost you for a few minutes, but you're coming back.
Okay, good. כה אמר אדוני אלוהים בקבצתי את בית ישראל מן העמים אשר נפוצו בם ונקדשתי בם לעיני הגויים ויסיבו על אדמתם אשר נתתי לעבדי ליעקב וישבו עליה לבלה ואנו בתים ונטעו כרמים ויושר לבטח ועשותי שפטים בבל השתים אותם מסביבותם וידעתי כי אני אדוני אלוהים.
Excellent. So as the Jeremiah with to build and to plant in chapter 1 or chapter 31 in the new covenant. What we can see here, the people will dwell, just one moment. Okay, I heard myself twice. So the people of Israel will come back. God will bring them up, bring them from the nations. They will come back to the promised land, and they will sit, they'll well safe, and they can build, and they can plant, and once God is going to execute the other nations. So with this prophecies for the nations, we've learned how God is going to protect the people of Israel and bring them back, though they sin a lot, as we've seen in the book of Ezekiel, as we've seen, for example, last week with Aholi and Aholiva. Now we'll move a little bit to chapter 29 that gives us a prophecy to Egyptians. And let's see this words. The year is the 10th year, just in the middle of the Babylonians here. It's around Jerusalem, 10th year of Zedekiah. And let's see what is written here. Coming back to Rod, בבקשה.
בשנה השירית בעשירי בשניהם אשר לחודש היה דבר יהוה אלי לאמור, בן אדם, שים פניך על פרעה מלך מצרים, והנה ועלי ועל מצרים כולה.
Excellent. And this prophecy is, of course, to Egypt, to the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, and to all Egypt. And with Egypt, we have love and hate relationship through all the Bible. At this moment, we can see, since it's a prophecies for the nations, so we're going to see how they are called and what is their punishment. With the beautiful, beautiful words that we're about to see here, let's see the words, and coming back to dear Doug that would read to us, בבקשה.
Okay. Daber ve'amarta ko Amar, Adonai Elohim, Hineni Alecha Paro, Melech Mitzrayim, Hatanim Hagadol, Rovetz Betoch Yehorav, Asher Amar Li Yeori Va'ani Asitini Vanatati Chachim Yecha Vahidbakti Yagat Yeorecha Bekas Kesotecha Bekas Kesotecha V'ha'aliticha Mitoch Yeorecha V'et Kol Dagat Yeorecha Bekas Kesotecha Tidbak Untashticha Hamid Bara Otcha Va'et Kol Dagat Yorecha Al Pnei Asadeh Hipol Lo Te'asef Velo Tikavetz Lechayat Haaretz Ulof Hashamayim Netaticha Le'achla.
Beautiful, יפה מאוד. And this king of Egypt is like the great dragon, which takes us to the Taninim Magdali from chapter 1 in Genesis 1:21. And we had, in the course of the animals, we saw the great sea monsters in the Bible, in Isaiah 27 and 51, and also in Psalms, and also in Job. And also here we can see that this sea monster thinks that this is my river, I created him. One more time, thinks that he is God. And here, and by the way, also in the Jewish Talmud, there are descriptions how God is going to kill these sea monsters. By the way, some of them connected to Leviathan and to others that will be in the Garden of Eden. But here, with the dragon, with the fish, with the scales, God is going, of course, to take him up and put him in the wilderness. It's really interesting, from the place that they think that they are actually control the world to a place that they can control, because in the wilderness they cannot live. And everyone, of course, all the animals can eat them. So the description here is that, one more time, as the king of Tyre thinks that he controls, also the great dragon thinks that he controls, and God says, no, 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 it's not going to work. Yes, Rod?
It's of interest that Egypt certainly had a checkered career, and after the Egyptian army was swallowed up in the
We've lost you, Rod. Oh. Hope that you will be able to join us. You wrote to us about the internet problem, so let's pray that you are with us. Anyway, what we can see here is that not the king of Tyrus, not the king of Egypt, No one can be as God. No one can fight God. And God, of course, is giving them, instead of bringing them up, it puts them down and actually destroy them because they think that they can fight him, or they think that they are a God. So really interesting. Yes, Victor.
So I noticed, like in the major prophets, like Isaiah and Ezekiel, there's a lot of prophecies against, Egypt and other nations. Is there any difference between all of these prophecies against these other nations, these foreign nations? Are they similar, or what's the difference between all of them?
First of all, this is something which is really common, both in Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel. There are prophets for the nations. Usually in Isaiah and in Ezekiel in the middle of the book, also in Jeremiah in the Septuagint, they are in the middle of the book, and in the Masoretic text at the end of the book. There is an idea that in order to bring the redemption, so the people of Israel must understand that they are not like the other nations. So the other nations are actually instrument by the hand of God, and some of them, as we've seen today, tries to lift up their heart and to be like God. They think that they are actually control the world, or they actually control their life. And God is saying no. So there is actually, I think, an important part that God tried to show the difference between the other nations to the people of Israel. I think this is maybe the main idea. And then you were speaking about redemption, and when you think about, okay, you suffered, you were punished, you sinned, but there is a difference between you and the other nations. You are going to come back. So it's also, as we've seen today, at the end of the prophecy in chapter 28, after speaking about Tyrus, after speaking about thinking about the Sidon, so God is saying, no, the people of Israel, they will come back. They will be redeemed. So it's like always to compare them to the other nations in order to show what is the different destiny that they would have. Okay? I think this is the main idea of doing this. Also in the minor prophets, we're going to see it.
Okay.
Thank you. Toda rabba. And Rod, you came back. Can you hear us?
Yes, the problem is with the national broadband network here, because everyone's supposed to be staying home, everybody's using their computer. And I think they're overloading the network.
Well, you started to speak about Korea, so let's hear what you wanted to say.
The interesting part about Egypt, of course, I don't know at what stage I cut out, but Egypt as a power eventually came under attack, especially after their army had been lost in the Red Sea. And then the Hyksos, whoever they were, got involved. The Ethiopians got involved. Finally, the Greeks took over, but they sort of tolerated the Egyptian way of doing things. But that lasted only so long before the Romans arrived. And then, of course, Greece was no more as a power.
Thank you for this important history lesson. Okay, thank you. Toda rabba. And let's see. Thank you, Doug. And eventually the idea, וידעו כל יושבי מצרים כי אני אדוני, היותם משענת קנה לבית ישראל, the staff of reed, as it's written also in the book of Kings, second book of Kings, chapter 18, with the speech of Rav Shaked, that the Egyptian or the king of Egypt is like a staff of reed which is broken. Also here, ותופסם בך בכף תרוץ ובקעת להם כל כתף ובשענם עליך תישבר ועמדת להם כל מותניים. So, by the way, when you continue to read this chapter, I didn't bring it all, so the destiny, they also will suffer for 40 years as the people of Israel suffered 40 years in the wilderness. So really interesting, some things to be compared to the people of Israel. Dear friends, as always, it's been a pleasure. Next week, Ezekiel 34 with beautiful, beautiful fable of shepherds. Who is the true shepherd? And the week afterwards is the rival visions. So Ezekiel 34 for next week. Hope that all of you will have a great weekend. Victor, you want to say?
Thanks for discussing such an interesting passage.
The syllabus says Ezekiel 33. Is it Ezekiel 33 or 34?
No. I decided to change it because I think Ezekiel 33 repeats a little bit of what we've learned in Ezekiel 18. I said, 34 is such a beautiful. We've learned it a few years ago in eTeacher, and I think that let's do it one more time with all the context of Ezekiel. So I decided to change it. So 34 for next week, not 33.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much, dear friends, and Shabbat Shalom from Israel.
Shabbat Shalom.
Pray that everyone will be okay, that next week we're going to speak about Corona and speak about the post-Corona time, hopefully.